Welcome to Designing Peak Performance in a Virtualized World. My name is Omar Aziz. Here's the key question we're going to look at today. How do we leverage our talents as we navigate our way through uncertainty? Back in March of 2020, right when the pandemic broke out around the world, the Harvard Business Review published an article called "That Discomfort You're Feeling is Grief." And in that article, they referred to work done by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, who wrote the book on death and dying. And in the book, she talks about the 5 stages of grieving, referred to as denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and then finally acceptance. In his book, Managing Transitions, William Bridges took this model and applied it to change in general. And his core insight is captured as follows. It isn't the changes that do you in, it's the transitions. Change is not the same as transition. Change is situational. The new site, the new boss, the new team rules, the new policy. Transition is the psychological process people go through to come to terms with the new situation. Change is external. Transition is internal. There are 3 distinct phases of transition. The first is called endings, then neutral zone, and new beginnings. Ironically, change focuses on what's starting. Transitions focus first on what's ending, because that's all you're familiar with at first. All you're familiar with is what's going away. And so as you focus on endings, you go through the 5 stages of grief that Elizabeth Kubler-Ross laid out. So if this is what change looks like, going from something to something, this is what transition looks like. Going through these 3 phases of endings, neutral zone, new beginnings. And different people are at different stages. And you might go forward and then take 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, vice versa. All of your people will be in different stages of transition, and you can recognize what stage people are in by the language they use. Susan Bridges, William Bridges' wife, made the following observation. Opportunity lies in the neutral zone. The essence of life takes place in the neutral zone phase of transition. It's in that interim spaciousness that all possibilities, creativity, and innovative ideas can come to life and flourish. What do I recommend? Make a list of all the changes that you and your team are going through, and then think about where in the transition process you are, and where in the transition process each of your individual team members are. And keep in mind that people don't go through transitions at the same pace. Everyone has their own pace of transition. And it's very important that you recognize what phase someone is in so you can speak to them in the language that they're familiar with while in that stage. There's nothing worse than a leader in new beginnings speaking to someone who's still dealing with endings. So you need to meet people at the stage they're in, and that'll help them effectively navigate their way through these transitions and reach new beginnings. And don't forget the opportunity for creativity within the neutral zone. The authors of the book Designing Your Life were on tour in Canada, actually, and their interview segment was shortened, and they were asked to summarize their book as briefly as they could, and they came up with design thinking in 4 steps and 10 words. Step 1, get curious. Step 2, talk to people. Step 3, try stuff. Step 4, tell your story. And they made the point that step 0 is accepting where you are. And interestingly enough, the 5th stage of endings is acceptance. So you can't start designing your way forward until you accept where you are. I hope you found this segment on designing peak performance useful. Thank you.